I've spoken all over the world, and I've gone to many resorts as a speaker, but among my favorites are the ones that you can fly to by yourself. There's something really special about getting in your own airplane, landing at a different airport, and just beyond the runway, there's the resort. But how do you get here? What if I told you there were secret getaways that only pilots knew about because the best way to get there was by a small plane? Let me introduce you to Hacienda de los Santos. Obviously, we're not in an airplane. Well, with general aviation, you always have to have a plan B. And the air coupe is in the shop, and it maybe would have been difficult making it out all the way to Alamos anyways because of the fuel stops and not having enough in Mexico. So we're in the car headed to Tijuana because it was more convenient to fly out of Tijuana than Tucson. If we flew out of Tucson, it would have taken a 14-hour layover in Mexico City, something ridiculous like that. But driving to Tijuana means an hour and a half flight into Ciudad Obregón and then a short drive into Alamos. The wonderful thing about general aviation, though, is that direct shot into where you want to go saves a lot of time, and you don't have to deal with TSA. That is wonderful. We are literally, and we're on the way. We're here. This is where we would have landed on this 5,000-foot runway. As you can see, all the other pilots are parked around us. But now we're gonna have a hangar party and have some lunch.
Where they can park their planes, and also the pilot of the plane, if the people are staying at the Hacienda de los Santos, the pilots can stay here. There's showers, bathrooms, kitchen, everything here in the hangar for them. It's beautiful. There's a 5,000-foot runway. And Alamos in the state of Sonora of Mexico is beautiful to come to. The beautiful flowers, very, very clean. A lot of Americans live here, and very, very nice.
Welcome to Hacienda de los Santos. Here is my room. This is actually called the Santa Lucia suite, so there are many various suites throughout the whole resort. This one was spectacular. It was a wonderful upgrade thanks to my friend. I'm going to show you a little bit about this room, how we have a fireplace. We have some beautiful accent paintings and beautiful parts of the room. This is my favorite part. This is a massive bathroom. There's a shower, there's a jacuzzi that I can't wait to try later. It's so big that there's even a loft upstairs with a bed. This isn't a resort for children, nor is it a resort for college students, but it is a wonderful place for relaxation, to enjoy some time with other pilots, or just have some alone time. So this is Jamie. Jamie, what do you do here at the Hacienda de los Santos?
My parents are the owners, and I've been living and working here for about 22 years now, since we opened as a hotel. I came down to help my parents open the spa, but since then progressed to event coordinator and now general manager. So I've been managing the resort for about 5 years, but living and working here for 22 years now.
Wow, that's awesome. What do you love most about your job?
What I love most, honestly, are the people that walk through the doors. I think, being in the position that I'm in, I get the opportunity to meet some fascinating people, and 9 out of 10 are wonderful. Occasionally you get that cranky person. We love to see them come in cranky and leave happy and relaxed. And that happens quite a bit because our main focus is to make people feel like they're at home.
So why here at Alamos?
I get asked that a lot because we are kind of off the beaten track. It's why it has made it a wonderful destination for private pilots that can fly directly into Alamos. There is a 5,000-foot newly paved runway, and my dad has actually built a hangar out at the airport so our pilots can put their planes away, and we assist with that and provide transportation to the hotel, which is only about a 5-minute drive. My dad started a pilot club about 20 years ago when we opened, and he now has over 700 members. There are 3 requirements for Club Hacienda Pilotos membership, and that is that you navigate to Alamos, land safely, and stay at the Hacienda. And if you can accomplish that, you become a member and you get a great hat with scrambled eggs on it and Club Pilotos. My parents had a great passion for Mexico their entire marriage, and they knew one day that they wanted to retire somewhere in Mexico. Some friends of theirs in Southern California told them about the small little colonial town called Alamos, and they said, hey, well, we'll check it out. And literally, Jessica, when they drove past the church, they looked at each other and said, we're home. 3 days later, they bought this main property here, which was near ruin, took it on as a project, their retirement, to restore the property. Once that was finished, we opened as a hotel, and that's when I came down with my daughter. And the day we arrived, my husband was at the front door with his cousins, and they played a serenade for us. 2 years after that, Ramon and I ended up getting married.
What are some of the other things you can do while you're here?
A lot of the pilots actually are hunters, and they fly directly into Alamos, and there are quite a few hunting facilities around the town. They say that Alamos is the second best place in the world next to Argentina for dove hunting. There are ecological tours, trips down the Rio Mayo. There's a National Reserve park here called the Parque Colorado, and they're still kind of making the trails. Bird watching, horseback riding. Yeah. We can actually bring the horses to the front door too and arrange horseback riding.
I think that's on the schedule that we're gonna do tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yes, you are. So, and we'll ride out to the Hacienda Ranch and do a barbecue, and that should be a lot of fun. I think you'll like that.
I can't wait.
Me too. I'm excited.
See if we can get on the far horse so I can lead it up to the sidewalk. Use that as a step up.
This is my longtime friend Sandy, and she's been encouraging me to come here to the Hacienda de los Santos for 5 years, and finally I made it. And I understand now why she was so excited about me experiencing this. And Sandy, tell me a little bit about the history of when you first came and what it was like for you.
Well, I had started flying in 1995. My husband had been flying for many, many years, and he loved Mexico. So one of the first places that, after I got my pilot's license, he said, okay, let's go to a brand new hotel that is being built and is in a hacienda. A family from San Diego just decided to move down here and buy a place, and it was so beautiful and people wanted to stay here that they decided to turn it into a hacienda for people to come to. And the reason why it's named Hacienda de los Santos is because for many, many years in their marriage, that they had collected things that were very unusual to most people, but they would come to Mexico and get crosses and pictures of saints. By accident, they ended up in Alamos. There's a saying about Alamos. The first day you love it, the second day you hate it, the third day you buy a house.
Sandy, I know you and your husband are pilot number 1 and number 2. Let me know about that.
Yes, my husband was reading an aviation magazine, and it said that there was a new hotel being built in Alamos, Mexico. They had lengthened the runway so we were able to land our plane on it, and my husband was pilot number 1 to land, and I was pilot number 2 when everything started. So we came to the hotel and we said, this would be a great place to have a pilot's retreat because you have a wonderful airport. It has near there is all the customs and immigration, everything that you can, do the documentation to come into the country. And they provide all types of transportation for you. And the first group that came was a group that was part of the Aviation Country Club of California, which my husband and I were members of. We brought down about 30 people. Each of them flew their own plane. You can come here, you can go to ranches and do, ride horses, you can do hunting, but the main thing is to come here and relax.
I know we're here for the pilot reunion. Are the pilots ever here throughout the year?
Oh, yes. Once they come, they keep coming back. Each year, there's about 3 pilots reunions, and with the activities and all of us flying in and everything else. But these pilots, plus the guests that Rickards normally have coming, because it is a 4-diamond hotel.
Ooh, yeah?
Yes, and so many people say it is the best hotel. And it doesn't feel like a hotel because of the way it's situated. Each room is decorated individually with all the amenities you want. The food is wonderful. All the food and the menu and everything is planned by people that live in this town. And then at noon you would have another fabulous meal and have guest speakers. They could be telling you about being a pilot, about maybe doing work in other areas to help the indigenous Indians up in the mountains. But every evening is what is so wonderful.
Yes.
Because they have dinners. All the time while you're eating or having drinks in the evening, there is music playing in the background. Live music. There are musicians up there that are locals playing guitars, girls singing, the men singing special songs about Mexico. They're in Spanish, but they'll tell you what those songs mean. And then you can get up and you can dance. They've got a dance floor. This is all while you're looking out at the beautiful courtyard that they have, fountains and statues and flowers all around. And then right across from you is a new chapel that they built that they had been planning for years and years. And it is just a blessing to come. I get so excited. The relaxation here that you can have. It's like just walking into the room, you just want to sit down and just go, I'm here, and you feel so comfortable.
Sandy, I love the hat you're wearing. How did you get it?
Oh, I'm so excited that you like it. The first time a pilot comes to a pilot's reunion and lands, they're flying left seat, they are greeted with the hat. Mm-hmm. And my husband's hat was hat number 1 because he was the first person, and I got this hat as pilot number 2 in the Pilots Club. I've got my wings, I've got my hat. I want to show the world how beautiful the Hacienda de los Santos is and how much the pilots can enjoy coming here.
So back up a little bit. So are you saying that in order to get the hat, I have to land here?
Yes, they have a beautiful airport here, but you have to navigate and land left seat. You don't get a hat, pilot's hat,
Okay.
as being a passenger.
Okay.
You get it because you're the pilot.
And so how many pilots actually have this hat?
Well, there's about 700 of us. Yes, and it is so interesting to meet people, these pilots from all over the world as they come here because they've heard of it. And you learn so much from other pilots about where to fly. It's such a beautiful way to interact with other pilots in a very comfortable setting. I just love it here.
Okay.
And when I come, I'm so relaxed.
This morning we're taking a tour of the town by the owner of Hacienda de los Santos, Jim, and it'll be great personal tour by him. We learned so much about the history of the town, but any group of pilots will always have something about aviation. Overlooking the hacienda is the mirador, and it's absolutely beautiful up here. 300 steps, but worth every step to see the sunrise. So we came out ahead of the hikers just to be able to capture that. We made it to the top.
Big smile. Yeah.
It's so beautiful up here. I can see the runway, the town, the hacienda. There's some beautiful mountains off in the distance. Someone told me last night there's some great trails, so that must be beautiful to go hiking up those trails. There's just a lot of beautiful scenery around here. It's gorgeous. Wow, it has been such a fun time here at Hacienda de los Santos. I've met some amazing friends, pilot friends for life. Now I know I can fly all over the country and have a friend. It's been so relaxing. I feel like I've lost all the stress that I came here with, and I'm definitely coming back.
Yo te traigo